Alright, I think this thing is recording. Pretty late night, little stream session. So I'm just jumping in some 100 NL waters. And I was playing for a while before this. I probably got in around like 3 hours, like 1,000 hands roughly. I get it, like on 4 table, I'll get like 1,000 hands or 300 hands an hour roughly. Got absolutely smoked. But to be fair, a lot of it is just running bad, like all in pre-flop. So I see some people doing some pretty out of line shit at this stake. And I think when I joined ACR, like when I started playing on this site, I may have like overestimated how crazy everyone is playing, like how good the pool is. Not that I'm like a super strong player, but this board I'm playing pretty much like big bet or check. On a 70, I think this hand is fine to big bet with, if the diamond is some like additional equity, and then maybe I prefer not have jack of clubs, but like I don't think it really matters in this scenario, right? Like I'm looking to mainly get called by like worst 9x, some 5x. He has to defend with some draws, and I think for that size I don't really get raised enough. So I have this guy. This guy is maybe a bit more passive from Kazakhstan, and then folding versus this 3-bet on the button here. Yeah, I just wanted to do 2 tables tonight because I'm pretty wiped out. I've been having a lot of fun playing on the site, but I think I'm down 2 buy-ins over the last like 3,100 hands or something. I'm gonna check here, and then here this hand is a mix, and it will call. And just flopping something nice here. Snap check back. This player is like pretty straightforward. I think it. And then after check back here, I think I always want to start putting money in. And then here, I want to put money in as well. A lot of hands that are bluff catching. I think I would only use a pot size. Could use overbet. I think I'd prefer to just only use pot on the turn. I could always value, like I could squeeze more hands in there, like in terms of like valuing that size. But it's I could argue also that like this is not a great size versus this player. I'm gonna fold. This is mainly a fold, but we'll always fold versus 2.5. Like this is mainly a fold versus 2 big blinds. So versus 2.5, like I don't think I would ever really be getting in there. Yeah, like larger turn probes versus this player, like a passive player type snap checking back a flop where it's like I expect to face lots of bets. It might be a mistake to use larger size turn probes, like with value hands. If we're just playing like extremely exploitative, right, or tailoring our like bet sizes to what we would like to have accomplished. Yeah, felt pretty good about playing today, honestly. I got home a little bit late from work and got some food. What did I even get for food? I went to Kava. I don't know if any of you have been to, all 20 people watching this video, right? I don't even know how many of you live in the United States, but Kava is like pretty fucking good, if I do say so myself. It's like Mediterranean food that, like fast Mediterranean food. It's like Chipotle but Mediterranean food. That's the best way to describe it. Um, and then I almost like betting this hand, but it's like blocking the like suited like 10x combos is not that important. Um, there are like one thing I've been thinking about is like there are a bunch of spots that it might be beneficial to block the offsuit combos, right? To have like the like this is sort of an instance where it's like you would prefer to block the offsuit combos. Then facing this size bet, obviously going to fold. You could argue to range bet this flop, but I don't think I would ever want to range bet this flop multi-way. Not that I've studied any multi-way spots. Here, ace 10 offsuit is always folding. I don't play with a HUD, but I don't play with a HUD like while I'm recording these videos. But this player here is a new player to me. It seems to be somewhat aggressive. Yeah, was running really bad in all ins today, but that's how this. I feel like who runs good in all ins. I'm sure there's some people, right? But nobody that I know really. Like I usually am like moaning about running terrible in all in spots, like mainly right all in pre-flop. Um, Same thing with sorry, I got distracted. My dogs are sprinting around in circles outside. Um, yeah, running bad in all in spots, just like run of the mill, no pun intended. I don't think anyone has ever come up to me and been like, man, I've just been running so pure in these all in pre-flop situations I get myself into. Whatever. Um, Hopefully we find a couple spots here to play. Jack 10, going to raise. This is an extremely low frequency 4-bet BVB for me. I don't know why I just remembered that or mentioned that, but like it's like single digit frequency. And then versus this open on a 7, I'm gonna call. This hand is mainly raising, but will flat sometimes. I expect to win a lot on this board. This hand, I think I would always bet it mainly for a larger size. Um, the reason being, I have a lot of hands that are doing fairly well. When he snap calls, I mean, I don't know, like, about always value betting on this turn king. Like, he has some ace king that snap calls. He obviously has king jack that snap calls. Um, yeah, he does have quite a bit of two pair that I don't have. Um, yeah, it's not like I would be able to go through. So I might delay this to the river. That might be a bit of a leak of mine. Is to take some like marginal hands like this, and then facing this size bet. Not loving it. Just gonna have to call though. Top pair. Yeah. Okay. And King 5 is a really low frequency mix. Yeah, I think 86 is even a little bit too low. Like I'm talking like 90+% of the time, or like rolling a 90 plus would be an appropriate amount. So yeah, this is full. Just thinking about the strategy on this board. Um, in that turn king there, yeah, right. If I'm gonna reopen the action, um, after out of position checks. I think I'd probably play just a polarized strategy, right? Like on the flop, I'm saying I have like a jack, or better, and then like, well, not talking video poker here, even though I will admit, fun game, jacks are better. But yeah, on the flop, I'm saying I have like a jack or better, and then by the turn, I probably wouldn't want to open the action with a jack for small, or like you wouldn't be able to really value bet too thin, with that type of hand. Here, this hand is a mix, and I will open this time. Here versus hijack, this hand is also a really low frequency mix. Gonna call. Get the king 3. Expect to face range bet here, and then I don't know. I don't always want to bet these like open-ender combos, but on a 97, yeah, like I would use one quarter or half pot. I think I like 1/4. And then facing half pot here, I think it's okay to fold. This range is pretty strong, like opening from the hijack. 2.5 side as well. It's like, and then small check raise. I will call, even though it's already pretty, grim. But this is why I called. It's because I predicted a nice clean turn. I didn't really anticipate check. I don't think I want to re. I think I make more money like allowing them to bluff river. Like I think after check back, they may stab quite a bit on the river. It's getting a little choppy. Hopefully my stream doesn't go ballistic. And then, yeah, just snapping this off. That's I actually don't really mind value betting that, but here I do like betting this hand actually quite a bit. These types of hands do a lot of betting on disconnected boards, like disconnected two-tone, disconnected rainbow. It's hands that can turn, like hands that are very good at turning some equity. Having a heart there is pretty nice too. I try not to focus so much on like having removal to like my opponent's, like certain combos in my opponent's range. On the flop, like I'm not so worried about like, oh, I'm blocking the folding range on the flop, because it's like, your opponent has hundreds of combos, right? And you might be blocking like 6 of them, or like some small percentage of them. So it just has never seemed that valuable to me to hone in on that. I think that's the hardest part of poker, is like within a hand, like prioritizing like the considerations, like prioritizing the what's the term? Like prioritizing the strategic, this is gonna do a bit of raising. I will raise this time, and then here calling an overbet, which is a little bit outrageous. Turn queen, gets snap jammed on by this guy, and that's like, whatever. What can you do? I think I'm supposed to donk there like almost 100% of the time. If I'm not donking, then he should be playing like almost range check. This is, I don't know. I don't know what is going on in this hand, honestly. I'm going to call with a lot of, with hearts and top pair. And we're going to get the brick river. Hopefully it goes check, check. I don't think it will that often. But like, it's possibly as a hand like ace 10 after this turn size. It's just, yeah, and then here, so, United States player, this line is pretty outrageous. This is very likely a fish. I don't think they ever really considered that I'm supposed to be like leading the turn quite often. But that's a big assumption, to be fair. Folding here. Yeah, that's okay. Let me, did this table close? Okay. It's unfortunate. How long have I been going for? 16 minutes. We'll play some heads up. Some short stack heads up. That's fine. Actually, no, it's really not. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Like I know like 100 BB pre-flop for heads up, but as far as like 44 big blinds, totally clueless. I assume that this hand is like always three betting, but whatever. I'm gonna sit out next big blind. And then this will be an open for two big blinds. I'm just guessing, like I'm guessing pre-flop sizes here. And I'll go ahead and sit out. I just buttoned them. It's fine. I'm a bad guy. Yeah, maybe not the best idea to just like jump on this table because I'm about to end the stream or this video pretty shortly. But what was I trying like so hard to get out? Basically, yeah, that is the most challenging thing in poker is figuring out what are the most important things to focus on in a hand. Right, like in whatever hand you're playing, like whatever spot you're in, like what are the most high weight, like what are the highest weighted factors that you should be considering? I struggle with that all the time. Like I remember during live poker, like I started realizing that, like when I started playing live poker, right? You start playing live poker, you're like. Your intro to the game and to strategy is like Doug Polk's YouTube channel. And you're like listening to him go on and on about how like basically every single hand is indifferent between all three, everything like raising, calling, folding. And basically he's just going on about like, live reads don't really, but essentially saying like live reads don't matter too much. But if you go and play live poker, like there's a lot of EV in picking up live tells on your opponent. Like you have this whole other here, always three betting. And then here I'm going to ISO, or I guess I should say raise. Versus this, I think this hand is mainly calling, so I will call. This is interesting flop. I think you should play like some jams maybe. See, I don't know. I just know that these board textures, like in certain spots, are getting jammed. And then here, let me go ahead and fold. I think it would be a mistake to bet my hand here. and get jammed on. This guy seems pretty. It's really hard to say. Actually, having the ace of hearts, like, I expect to get check jammed on as a bluff, like, way less. But it's like, do I just check back and realize? And I could, like, delay betting to the river. I think that was a good decision. And then facing check here. Yeah, I'm gonna go all in, right? Like, he folds ace king. I don't think he folds ace jack though. There's just a 30 big blind size. I could even go half pot. Yeah, maybe half pot. I think this is probably the most effective bet size to target, like, some random 10, ace king. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, the actual folding frequency that my opponent would need to, like, have in order for a bet to work. Like, my initial thought is, and that's probably a pretty big leak I have. My initial thought is to just bet, like, humongous. But, like, that's just, like, sort of like, I don't know, just like a fight or flight response, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think it's, like, in that situation, I think that jamming would be, like, really bad, because I don't think, I think my opponent is just getting to the river with, like, a lot of, like, traps, and then, like, kind of like ace king, pretty much, right? Ace king, ace queen, maybe some hand like ace 8 suited, or like ace 10 suited. So those hands are, like, folding to a much smaller size. There's, like, no reason to go in, like, all in. Like, they sort of, like, the fold equity you have is, plateaus after a certain, like, as the size increases. Here, I'm gonna fold. Even though I don't think I'm supposed to, I'm going to. It's fine. I think that this hand is, like, mainly a call, 7-6. If I am gonna open it, like, I need to mainly call it. And then king 5. I'm gonna sit out next big blind because the stream, the video is getting a little choppy here. And call it a night. But yeah, it's just me just being chatty, playing two tables, being chatty. I didn't get around to recording a video earlier today, but I think this is fine. I wanted to get a session in before I recorded a video because I wanted to make sure I was, like, warmed up. Didn't study it all today, which is always, it always feels kind of bad. Like, it feels like I'm kind of, like, slacking if I don't study. But I think it's important to, like, get time in playing as well. All right, that looks to be about it. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. My background, that's my dog, Appa. I hate that they offer that. Anyway, thank you for hanging out, watching this video. I don't, especially if you made it to all the way to the end here, I really appreciate it. So, let me know in the comment section what you enjoyed, any interesting hands. I'll put timestamps in the description, and yeah.